think we have the crowd we're going to have here today, so I think we should officially start this talk about using the NASA Aviation Safety Reporting System to track UAP events. I'm Todd Curtis, and I'm the presenter today, and I hope you enjoy what I have to say. Sir, please sit down.
Sure.
Take your time.
Take it easy.
The good stuff is about to happen. Is my clicker working? Okay. Maybe not. Let me hit go here. Yes, it does work. All right. Disclaimer. Unless otherwise noted, all content is my work. And anything I got from the U.S. government is from open sources, as in anybody in this room, heck, anybody on Earth with an internet connection can get the information I got for this talk. Executive summary. By the way, I have a military background, so I have the tell them what you're going to tell them and tell them what you told them attitude. I'm telling you what I'm going to tell you. So if you have to walk out in 2 minutes, you got the good stuff here. The U.S. government has recognized UAP, unidentified anomalous phenomena, as a safety flight issue. As of May of this year, the FAA and the DoD, Department of Defense, have not developed a systematic and comprehensive process for collecting and organizing UAP reports. There are processes out there, but they're not systematic. A database of aviation-related UAP events will enhance civil aviation safety. NASA's Aviation Safety Reporting System, ASRS, database can serve as an interim solution for tracking aviation safety-related UAP events. The ASRS database already contains several UAP events. Encouraging the aviation community to use this resource is a good first step. I have three audiences for this talk. One are the people in this room, those who are well informed about UAP issues and are interested in aviation safety. Two, my colleagues in aviation safety, aviation business, aviation and aerospace professionals with an interest in UAP, which is a growing subset of the aviation community, and that's a good thing. Mainstream media and social media content creators who are interested in the relationship between UAP and aviation safety. Now, in social media content creators, I'm one of them. I've been online since, 1996 with websites and every other kind of thing I can think of doing. So if you are out there creating something, I don't care what it is, and you want to talk about this subject, I encourage you to do so. We need all the voices we can get. My background, I have a bachelor's and master's in electrical engineering. I have a doctorate in aviation risk assessment. I'm a former U.S. Air Force flight test engineer. I was stationed out at Edwards, as a matter of fact, so I'm familiar with the desert and all the fun stuff we can do with high temperature and low humidity. I was a Boeing safety engineer. I left over a couple decades ago, primarily working on the 777 project. I can't say anything about the 737 MAX except they probably didn't do it the way we did it on the 777. No reasonable offer will be refused for those who might. I'm the author of the book Understanding Aviation Safety Data from 2000, which I'm proud to say is the best-selling book ever on the subject of analyzing aviation safety data. I don't know of any other books on the subject, so I'm a bestseller. I'm the creator of airsafe.com, which has been around since '96, and contributor to the Flight Safety Detectives podcast. The latter is the one that's most active, and myself and some colleagues of mine from the NTSB talk about everything from airships to spaceships and about the process of investigating accidents and incidents. We've even had 4 different shows that talked about different aspects of UAP and aviation safety. There'll be links at the end of this for those of you who are interested. I'm an FAA certified private pilot and commercial drone pilot working on my instrument rating. So I've been in the air a few times, including in the past month or so. The goals for this presentation are to provide an overview of current U.S. government approaches to issues involving UAP and aviation, describe the current options for reporting aviation-related UAP, explain the usefulness of including UAP events in aviation safety databases, show how to report UAP to NASA's Aviation Safety Reporting System, encourage the aviation community to report UAP events to the ASRS. And I just hit something I shouldn't hit. Okay. All right, I think I have to go back. Yes, here we go. Next section is an overview of the U.S. government approaches to UAP issues in aviation. As you all know, it's an acronym for, UAP is an acronym for Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena. UFOs can be considered a category of UAP. The definition is evolving within the U.S. government, with different agencies having different UAP concerns. When's the last time you heard of different U.S. government agencies having different approaches to the same concern? The DoD, the intelligence community, FAA, and NASA have influential roles in UAP policy and the public perception of UAP. What's a UAP? DoD version. One formal definition is from the National Defense Authorization Act, NDAA, for fiscal year 2022. Say that 3 times real fast. Defines the term unidentified anomalous phenomena as A, airborne objects that are not immediately identifiable, B, transmedium objects or devices going between the water and the air or air and space or vice versa. C, submerged objects or devices that are not immediately identifiable and that display behavior or performance characteristics suggesting that the objects or devices may be related to the objects described in subparagraph A. Okay, that's a government definition for you. Not the kind of definition I think is useful for aviation safety. We'll come back to that subject later. And there I go again. What is UAP? The NASA version. Now, as many of you know, last year NASA released a report on UAP, the NASA Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena Independent Study Team report, which was not NASA employees. These were people from outside NASA with various kinds of expertise that gave them insights and advice. This 2023 report, released in 2023, categorized UAP with more general characteristics, including objects in U.S. airspace not recognized as human-made or natural phenomena, may be real or sensor artifacts, may be a threat to aerospace safety, may be a threat to national security. I've got 2 engineering degrees, right? You think I... Let's do this again. Recent DoD and intelligence community UAP efforts, formal recognition of UAP as an issue. This goes back several years. The first time I saw this, I paid attention, was the Office of Director of National Intelligence released something, I think, in 2021 timeframe that talked about this. And various other government departments have done things such as the videos from the 2017 story in the New York Times. It was admitted that, yes, these were authentic videos, and yes, they showed something that we don't know. They've also, no booing please, established organizations such as AARO, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, the Office of Director of National Intelligence. For you acronym nerds out there, technically, this is the organization or the office that is over the CIA, the NSA, all those fun intelligence agencies we've been hearing about all of our lives. The ODNI released UAP reports, several of them, efforts by the military services to develop UAP-related reporting procedures, a focus on national security and military air safety, limited publication and transparency. That's important. They have great information behind closed doors, but you and I can't necessarily go behind those doors and take a look at it. The NASA approach to unexplained phenomena, addressing UAP put in the context of the process of discovering unexplained phenomena, which includes applying rigorous scientific approaches to understanding observation, scrutinizing assumptions and intuition, transparently, I misspelled that, transparently and diligently collecting data, reproducing results, seeking independent evaluation, reaching a scientific consensus about the nature of an occurrence. Again, this is also from their report, which I encourage all of you to read. Civil aviation accident and incident reporting in the United States. Now, we probably have all seen all sorts of things about the NTSB and what they do. That's just the tip of the iceberg. And for those of you who watch those various cable shows about plane crashes, some of them, many of them, are based on this kind of information from the NTSB and elsewhere. But again, that's just the tip of the iceberg. U.S. and around the world, the fundamental reasons for collecting aviation safety-related reports are to reduce accidents, incidents, and other unwanted outcomes. These reports may take many forms, and summaries of these reports may be included in searchable databases. Their usefulness to the aviation community increases if those reports are accurate, well-organized, comprehensive, accessible, and relevant to the user. I like to say that when it comes to aviation safety, time and space and distance make no difference. Something that happened 40 or 50 years ago could be absolutely irrelevant to what's happening to an event today. And understanding what happened then and connecting to what happened now is often the key to putting into place processes and procedures to make it safer for everyone. What gets reported to U.S. authorities? You know, the following process is usually what happens. It's required by federal regulation. Now, I'm not going to go into the details, but the first one, Title 49 Code of Federal Regulations 830, that's the NTSB. That says, hey, these certain kinds of events had to be reported to the NTSB. Also, the Aeronautical Information Manual, which is something that the FAA has primarily for people in the aviation world, also gives out what has to be reported and where. An organization or individual submits a report to an appropriate U.S. government organization. Because otherwise, if you don't put it in the right box, it's not going to get processed. The FAA or other U.S. government organization finds out about an event and forwards it to an appropriate U.S. government organization. So, the big ticket items, if it shows up on the national news, trust me, it's going to get reported. If it hurts somebody, if it's a serious event, if it happens to an honest organization, for example, if you're flying things illegally from point A to point B, you're probably not going to report an accident. But those are on the fringes of aviation. For the most part, anything that happens gets reported. What events get retained by the U.S. government? And again, this is no different from any other business or process. A lot of information comes in, not all of it gets written down and saved. The likelihood that a safety-related event in civil aviation gets retained in the U.S. government records, including searchable databases, increases if the event occurred in U.S. airspace, U.S. territory, involved U.S. registered aircraft anywhere in the world, or involved either serious injury or death. The injury was submitted to the correct organization, and there could be more than one correct organization. The event meets the requirements for inclusion. There is sufficient information about the event. Examples, and there are many, of accident and incident databases include the NTSB, National Transportation Safety Board, accident and incident reports, military Class A mishaps, and the definition changes, but basically, if it's serious injury, death, destruction of the aircraft, or damage above a certain amount, the military has its own parallel system, Army, Navy, Air Force, and I believe the Coast Guard, to analyze events and put it into their own system. And unless it actually involves a civilian aircraft or civilian infrastructure like an airport, it may not show up in the NTSB database. Examples include the NTSB, which has not only the reports, which you've probably seen or heard of, but they have something called the public docket, where you could have a handful or dozens of other things, including videos, other reports, medical analyses, things that add context to the main report, and in many cases are much more insightful with respect to what actually happened and who might have had a hand in the sequence of events. NASA has the Aviation Safety Reporting System, which I'll go into in greater detail later. The FAA has the Wildlife Strike Database, typically birds, but it can be something else as well. And this is a database I've directly contributed to and worked with various organizations. Bird strikes, deer strikes, dog strikes, horse strikes, all kinds of wildlife have hit airplanes. Aircraft laser encounters.
How do we know it's aliens? Couldn't that just be military aircraft? They now believe there's one planet for every star in the universe. There are already 8.4 billion artificial intelligence systems. Who could have built that 10,000 years ago? Where did you find the source for that? Could AI truly become sentient?
For a unique, in-depth, and rational look at these topics with the world's leading experts, check out Beyond Contact on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. Find us at contactinthedesert.com.